Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic World video. In today's video, we're once again going to be discussing the newly announced Jurassic 7 movie that's expected to hit cinemas in 2025. If you haven't caught up with the news lately, we've had confirmed that a new Jurassic World movie is currently in development. There's a few more details you can learn about in my other videos if you wish to learn more, but today we're going to be speculating a little further into what this story may look like, as there's been a few people questioning what we may see from this movie. So I'm here today to try and piece together what to expect from what we know so far. But before moving on with the video, we'll continue to raise awareness of the ongoing genocide that's occurring in the Middle East. Tens of thousands of children are currently still being displaced and killed with no end in sight in Palestine. Opinions aside, we can all agree that this simply isn't right. If you have a kind heart and wish to help out and can do so, then please do consider donating to our fundraiser so we can help provide support for the children who desperately need it right now. May they find the aid that they need in this extremely tough time. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you. But now, let's take a look at the next Jurassic World movie and what it might be about. So what do we kind of know already about this new movie so far? Well, the script is practically done. I believe the script has been in development since the end of 2022, and we actually have David Koepp returning here, which is actually the first screenwriter on Jurassic Park and the screenwriter on the Lost World Jurassic Park as well. Now, interestingly, he's writing this script, and it's the first Jurassic script he's going to be writing that isn't based off anything else like we had for the book. You know, Jurassic Park based off the book, The Lost World kind of based off the book, so I'm intrigued to see where he's going to go with this script, because I don't doubt for a minute that he is going to take a lot of aspects from Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park and write them into script for the next Jurassic World movie. As far as we know so far, it does take place after Dominion, so it would be intriguing to see scenes like the T-Rex river raft scene from the novel of Jurassic Park implemented into live action, because I know there's so many people out there who want loads of scenes from the book that never made it into live action in the Jurassic Park movie to eventually make it into the franchise. So it does seem like now we may be getting something of the sorts in this next movie, since David Koepp is writing this script. But that's just a little bit of speculation and theory behind this, just because, you know, the other two Jurassic movies he wrote on were based off a book. Who's to say that he's not going to base this one off the book, just with a different storyline, if that makes sense. At the moment, we currently have no cast or director, which is slightly disappointing because typically, sometimes when you have a director and a cast, you can try to make out exactly which direction this is going to go. For example, if you have Ryan Reynolds in your movie, it's going to have a lot of comedy in it, isn't it? But if you have directors from horror movies, you know it's going to have a very dark and undertoned setting to the movie. So it kind of gives you an explanation and understanding of where exactly these movies are going to go. So unfortunately, we don't really have a cast and we don't have a director quite yet. But sometime this month, fingers crossed, because I'd be very concerned for the 2025 release date if we don't have an announcement of a cast of a director just yet. But hopefully by the end of this month, we should have more details about the cast, about the director, and where this is all going to go. But talking of which, where is all of this going to go? Well, Jurassic World Dominion practically left this universe completely open. And in my opinion, it was absolutely perfect in that sense. That movie, setting up the future of the franchise, was perfect. It left open so many new storylines, whether they be big storylines about dinosaurs still being on the mainland, or tiny storylines that you can kind of get a better understanding about, such as Soyuna Santos escaping Barry, or saying that something happened last time with Biosyn and her. So, you know, just little scenes like that only took 3 seconds of screen time, you can turn into a major new movie. So we have to try and work out where this is going to go, because Dominion, whilst yes it was perfect in setting up the future of the franchise, it left open so many more doors to almost endless possibilities when it comes to the stories. That's why when some people say, where's the franchise going to go now, it makes no sense. I'm confused why people are saying that, because this is the most open the franchise has ever been. There's so many endless possibilities. Even Chris Pratt said that he's voiced his opinion on having a underwater themed Jurassic movie themed around the Mosasaurus. It doesn't have to be something that climatizes to something major like in Marvel or Star Wars. We can still have minor movies, you know, and that's we're going to get into that just a little bit later in this video. But that's what I'm saying, like we still need to know a little bit more about the Mosasaurus. We can have a quiet place kind of vibe where, let's say, we're following a small family on a ranch where Carnotauruses are killing all of their animals and they're trying to do a mission trying to work out how they can kill these Carnotauruses. You know, it doesn't need to climatize into something massive. It can be a short movie. It can be a movie about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and we can just kind of, just watch the movie for the sake of the fear factor, the horror factor. And then we have a new smaller timeline, or storyline shall we say, to follow with those people on the ranch. And that coincides with a bigger timeline, or storyline shall we say, with the major actors, the major storyline that's going on in the overall world. So this is where I think the franchise is going to start to pick up. I'll talk about this in another video, but hopefully this time next week, if not the week after, about what I want to see from this franchise going forward and why I think it's going to be very, very positive. But this next movie, there's endless possibilities. One of which is actually one of my favourite storylines, and this would be the idea of uncovering why loads of Isla Sorna species are suddenly on the mainland. If you guys didn't know, on the Dino Tracker website, which is canon to the main universe of the Jurassic franchise, we see loads of dinosaurs from Isla Sorna on the mainland in Canada, in America, and even in Europe and Asia. We have some pteranodons from Isla Sorna, we have red ankylosauruses from Isla Sorna, and the most notable ones are the Tyrannosaurus rexes from Isla Sorna and the velociraptors from Isla Sorna. Both of those are confirmed to be on the mainland somewhere. But how did they get there? It's 2022, we didn't know anything what happened to these dinosaurs on Isla Sorna, we had no clue whatsoever. So how on earth did they get there? I'm sure we'll be getting a backstory of some kind. I don't know how or when, but it's a storyline that I'm really excited to see, and I'm sure that loads of people would love to see as well, because they can set a storyline returning back to Isla Sorna, which some people are actually calling to see. So we just have to see exactly how that's going to go down, but to be honest, I would be extremely open to that, and I would be very excited. But as far as we know so far, Jurassic 7 apparently takes place after Dominion with a brand new cast, so unfortunately it seems like that storyline is quite unlikely. So, what do I think about Jurassic 7? What do I think is going to happen? Well, this is going to be kind of controversial, so please let me know your opinions down below, but this story, in my opinion, won't be a major story. But instead, it will be a start of new minor stories in this franchise. What do I mean by that? Well, Jurassic World, I guess you could say, was the minor story of the Jurassic World trilogy, and I guess you could say Jurassic Park 3 was the minor story of the Jurassic Park trilogy. These stories didn't really climatize to too much, because as we know, the dinosaurs escaping on the mainland, that main thing basically started this whole franchise to go any direction it wants, thanks to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, so I would say that's a major story. But when we look at it, the three movies in each period of the Park era and the World era, they're all major movies. At the same time, hypothetically speaking, let's say we live in another universe, alongside those three movies in those two trilogies, we would be getting other minor stories that kind of move up in the world and eventually coincide with the major movies, if that makes sense. I'm probably explaining this very, very poorly, but that's how I see Jurassic 7 going. With a new cast, a new director, and basically a new era, starting up a new saga for this franchise, I'm sure that this movie will be maybe an hour and 50 long, 2 hours long, typical for a Jurassic movie, and it might just follow a new storyline that we don't really know too much about from the last movie, unless we're super fans and can kind of piece together some things. But it does seem as though Jurassic 7 won't be something too major like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Dominion, The Lost World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It probably won't be anything of the sort. It won't follow the overall expenses of what's happened in the world after Dominion. It might just follow like a small story of some people, like I said, on a ranch dealing with some dinosaurs. I don't expect it to be something major to travel the globe here and there. I expect it to be kind of like what we're expecting Jurassic World Chaos Theory to be like. We're only expecting that show to take place in California and following one main character of Darius Bowman with other sidekick characters as well. I kind of expect the Jurassic 7 movie to kind of go like that as well. So, I don't know, maybe we can follow some people in Canada and how they've decided to live with these dinosaurs, you know, killing and causing a threat to their family members or something like that. You know, I'm just spewing stuff out of the top of my head here. But that's kind of where I see a minor movie of this franchise going. And then that makes it hopeful that maybe in 2026 or 2027, I'm probably being way too hopeful here, but it makes it hopeful that maybe we'll have a first major movie of this new saga there. But they can also, in the meantime, do live action series as well, we just have to wait and see. But this minor movie could be the start of a setup to the main major movies that may release around the year of 2031. So it doesn't just have to be 3 major movies, it could be like 4 or 5 mini movies, short films, series, and a smaller movie, or minor movie as I call them in this video, that kind of all culminate together to create one big movie that it all kind of gets to. And then we start again from a new era, and then we start again from there, and follow the same pattern. That's kind of how the movie industry goes these days. But that's what I kind of see happening, you know. We have all of these smaller movies, these series, live action series, animated series, doesn't really matter. And then eventually we come to the year of 2031 where we have the culmination of everything. Kind of like how Dominion was the culmination of the Jurassic World stories and the Jurassic Park stories simultaneously. It's kind of tough to understand what this story of Jurassic 7 may exactly be, simply because it's the first of them all, and it's a brand new saga, brand new era. There's many stories that were left open from Dominion, so this could practically go in any direction whatsoever. Overall though, it will be very interesting to see this movie. I can safely assume that more movies will be set into place after the next one, so I expect that this one will be a minor movie that will eventually lead up to something larger. Kind of like how Ant-Man and the Wasp was a filler movie up until Avengers Endgame. Or even how Spider-Man Far From Home was a setup to Spider-Man's new story which built up the entire multiverse saga for the MCU. Or perhaps even Star Wars The Force Awakens, something that starts a new era of movies but slightly continues from the previous storyline. I kind of expect a similar vibe to that Star Wars 7 actually. And actually it's called Star Wars 7 and we have Jurassic 7. So yeah, I mean, The Force Awakens, that kind of vibe, you know, a new story but following on from the previous stories, I expect Jurassic 7 to kind of take on a similar vibe to that. So yeah, to some viewers watching this video, you might think that this video ends off in the same way we started with. We don't know what's going to happen in this next movie. But for those who can express their ideas and thoughts right now, I know for a fact that you have many new ideas and expectations for this movie that you didn't have before watching this video. So go ahead and let me know what storylines you like to see be followed in this new movie from Dominion, or how you think that this movie is going to pan out for the future of this franchise. But all we have to do now is sit back and be patient. Oh, patience. We're in for a fun year around the corner, so don't you worry, as we'll have more news and details to come as 2024 unfolds. Whether that's from the new movie, from the new animated series, or even the Jurassic Park video game releasing later this year. But for now, be sure you're subscribed to the channel and staying safe out there. Consider helping the children in need by donating to our fundraiser, but I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.